Although he had already won 6 consecutive championship trophies, Kobe found himself caught in a mix of reluctance and melancholy in the summer of 2011. Of course, there was still more blessing than anything else. Shortly after the end of the 2011 season, while Kobe was training hard to strive for a 7th consecutive championship, he suddenly received a phone call from Ilgauskas. On the phone, Big Z expressed his desire to retire to Kobe. After all, he had been competing continuously for far too long, and his body was indeed severely drained. Moreover, he never liked seeking fame and reputation. As for being named one of the greatest centers in history in the future, he had absolutely zero interest. Kobe had actually anticipated this day long before, but when it truly arrived, he still couldn't help feeling a sense of loss, as if he had lost a most reliable old comrade. When the news of Big Z's retirement reached Cleveland, the Cavaliers' owner immediately showed the utmost respect. They not only quickly erected a huge statue of Big Z at the most prominent spot in front of the Quicken Loans Arena entrance, but also commemorated and reviewed Ilgauskas' significant contributions to Cleveland with the most grand retirement ceremony. During Kobe's speech, he fondly recalled the bits and pieces belonging to the two of them, from being taken care of by his older brother during his rookie season, all the way to taking a pay cut to help during the Heat days. Every word and sentence expressed his gratitude to his older brother. When it came to Big Z's performance on the court, Kobe was generous with his praise, and the most frequently used phrase was the most dominant player. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. After Big Z retired, Kobe, for the first time in his career, did not see Ilgauskas' name on the opening night roster. However, the additions of Battier and Curry still made the Heat's strength unmatched in the league, and every time seeing Kobe's powerful teammates, one couldn't help but feel sorry for James, who was trapped in the scheming and poverty-stricken Lakers team. At the age of 33, he was stuck with teammates who couldn't develop a three-point shot or create space, and a coach who was obsessed with the triangle offense his entire life, to the point that James's overall rating was dragged down and remained stagnant. Levi's line, "Drawing my sword, I look around in bewilderment," might be the most accurate portrayal of James's inner feelings at this moment. However, James is clearly not an ordinary player content with mediocrity. The spirit of challenge in his bones has always made him adhere to the philosophy of, "I am the master of my fate, not the heavens," which is why he has tried 3 times to join a new team that suits him. Perhaps, seeing that it was truly difficult to escape the control of the time stone, this time, he actually came up with a new trick. You see, in the parallel universe I created, teams never initiate trades on their own, but James managed to become the exception. He transformed the Lakers roster from the cramped spacing at the start of the season into a significantly improved space-oriented new team. To make up for my long-held guilt toward him, I tacitly allowed his rule. Breaking move this time, but it absolutely won't happen again. Compared to James's unconventional approach, the Heat team seems more like a diligent, honest worker who cuts through mountains and builds bridges whenever obstacles arise. Fortunately, after a full season plagued by endless injuries, the outcome was still satisfactory for everyone. Although the Heat's record declined slightly, they still managed to secure the league's best record with 70 wins. Kobe's stats also dipped a bit, yet he still claimed the regular season MVP trophy, which he considered a symbol of collective honor. However, looking at the records in the Eastern and Western Conferences, perhaps Rose was the player most deserving of the award. After all, many fans believe that a team as stacked as the Heat should not have any player appearing in the MVP voting. It does make sense. Imagine if James and Wade, both first-team All-NBA and first-team All-Defense, formed a team alongside elite reinforcements like Bosh and Battier. Would the league hand the MVP trophy to James or Wade? Obviously not, because being on such a star-studded roster makes it harder to not achieve great results. Therefore, no matter how impressive the Heat's record is, it simply doesn't reflect where a player's true value lies. Instead, teams like the Lakers, who have been consistently weak in strength, yet repeatedly managed to make the playoffs, are the normal teams more deserving of praise. Unfortunately, in the playoffs, they once again faced their nemesis, the Spurs, and at this time, the Spurs had developed a future superstar in Leonard, who excelled on both ends of the floor. This undoubtedly made it far more difficult for James to get past the first round. Aside from the Lakers versus matchup, there was another first-round series that drew even more attention. The battle between Kobe's 2 former teams, the Heat versus the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers, with Jamison as a secondary scorer and Irving leading the offense, managed to return to the playoffs just 1 year later, which was truly surprising. It seemed that the Cavaliers' number 2, hailed as Kobe's successor, was indeed living up to his reputation. However, just as everyone eagerly anticipated the direct showdown between the 2 kings of the Cavaliers, Kobe unexpectedly strained the Achilles tendon in his left foot. He was forced to leave the game for treatment after playing only 20 minutes, casting a shadow over the Heat's title defense. Fortunately, Kobe's leadership style never undermines his teammates. Whether he played or sat out, his teammates could still play the game in their own way. Coupled with the Heat's overwhelming talent, Spoelstra replaced Kobe with Battier, and the Heat managed to win 2 straight games, turning the tide in their favor. But in Game 4, the Cavaliers unleashed a fierce offensive barrage with 6 players scoring in double digits. With a flurry of wild punches, they directly beat the seasoned veteran, the Heat. Unfortunately, in the pivotal Game 5, the Heat regained their footing and dragged the Cavaliers into a half-court trench war. Wade single-handedly carried the offensive and defensive banner, especially on the defensive end, using his elite defensive ability to make Irving extremely uncomfortable. The Heat thus seized the match point first. However, as the series extended, more uncertainties emerged. On one hand, Kobe refused to sit idly by while his teammates fought with all their might. On the other hand, he did not want to disappoint the Cleveland fans who had saved up for a long time just to watch a live playoff game. Therefore, despite being injured and not fully recovered, Kobe resolutely stepped onto the court in Game 6. He delivered a well-rounded performance of 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, leading the Heat to completely end the Cavaliers' playoff run. Even so, the home crowd in Cleveland erupted into thunderous cheers, with every fan eagerly hoping for the day when Kobe would once again don a Cavaliers jersey. This scene deeply moved Kobe, and even Irving showed no signs of defeat-related frustration. Instead, like a devoted fan, he rambled on about how the two of them could join forces to achieve great things together. Compared to the harmonious atmosphere between the Heat and the Cavaliers after the game, the other protagonist of our story, James, was engulfed in unprecedented frustration. He had come within a hair's breadth of overcoming the Spurs, the mountain that had loomed over him for over a decade, but in the end, he fell short. More critically, across the 7-game battle, his stats were far behind his explosive performances from previous years. It seemed that time had finally slowed James's explosive drives. Hopefully, the Lakers' front office can recruit strong reinforcements soon, so as not to waste James's championship dreams. With that, the dual protagonist saga had, yet again, turned into a one-man show for Kobe. To prevent Kobe's injury from worsening and to maximize the Heat's offensive firepower, Coach Spoelstra made an unprecedented adjustment, assigning Wade to point guard, Kobe to shooting guard, and Battier to small forward. This upgrade significantly bolstered the Heat's backcourt on both ends of the floor. In the second round, the Heat faced the Magic. Their core player, Howard, made bold statements before the series, arrogantly declaring that he would never at any time, past, present, or future, submit to Kobe's dominance. He claimed that Kobe's team was not adept at drawing fouls, so he could confidently stay on the court and keep fighting the Heat until the very last moment. However, the Magic's roster was far inferior to the Heat's. Even in Game 1, when Kobe was still recovering from his injury, they failed to seize the opportunity to take the win. Thus, in Game 2, the Magic completely lost any chance of winning the series because at this point, Kobe had fully shaken off the shackles of his Achilles injury. The flying and soaring Black Mamba ravaged the Magic's basket time and again, and even when the Beast planted himself in the paint, it was utterly futile. Kobe, Wade, and Bosh gradually rediscovered the exhilarating invincibility they had during the regular season. After an unfortunate loss in Game 3, they quickly regrouped and hit their peak form in Games 4 and 5, mercilessly dismantling the Magic. At that moment, they truly returned as gods of destruction. Unfortunately, their finals opponent from last year, the Thunder, suffered a setback in Game 4 of their second-round series against the Mavericks, when Durant went down with an injury, directly leading to 3 consecutive losses and a brutal revenge sweep by the Mavericks. Similarly, the second-round series between the Heat and the Bulls saw last season's Rose miss games due to injury, resulting in a sweep for the Bulls. However, looking at the roster comparison, even if Rose played at his peak, the Bulls' chances of winning were still not great, because aside from the center position, the Bulls held no advantage at any other spot. This was especially true at the shooting guard position where Kobe played. The gap was astronomical. After all, Hamilton had already shown signs of aging, while Kobe was just entering his prime. Thus, in Game 1, Kobe shot 20 plus 3 plus 5 assists at a 50% field goal percentage, while also holding Hamilton to just 2 points. However, the Bulls refused to go down without a fight. In Game 2 of the series, they responded emphatically, not only forcing Wade to foul out early in the game, but also using aggressive defensive schemes to significantly lower Kobe's shooting percentage. But when elite players clash, there is no room for even a moment's lapse. In just one brief instant, Kobe scored on 2 consecutive drives to the basket, regaining his offensive rhythm. Yet the Bulls, now locked into their offensive and defensive tempo, were not to be outdone. With counterattacks from Boozer and Rose, their offense was fierce and relentless, hitting shot after shot. For the first time, the two teams found themselves in a rare state of stalemate. So, who will have the last laugh? Let's find out together.
Bosh gets the ball, and he throws it down with authority.
The guy puts everything he has into that dunk.
That was a powerful dunk.
It might look simple, but it really isn't.
Yes, it is a perfect blend of speed, awareness, and technique.
Chalmers gets the ball, passes it to Bryant. He fires a three-pointer.
Bang! It finds the bottom of the net.
It looks like Kobe's touch is coming back.
Brewer with the ball isolated on Chalmers. This is a tough matchup for Chalmers. Passes it to Noah, who banks it in off the glass.
Nice shot from Noah. That is the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
If you keep letting opponents score easily inside, your perimeter defense won't matter.
The ball goes out of bounds. Over these last two possessions, Miami's interior offense and defense are far from ideal.
Now Rose has the ball, shadowed by Kobe. Bryant is putting the clamps on him.
He gets rejected, but they recover it. That block by Kobe is incredibly tough. The rebound is grabbed by Chalmers.
Look at this. Kobe is locking up Rose now.
This is the sign Kobe is ready to take over the game.
Chalmers on the perimeter, met right away by Rose. Curry sets a screen for Chalmers. A three-point shot is taken, but the ball is secured by Boozer. It is a 6-point game, and Kobe indeed starts to defend Rose 1-on-1.
Rose drives and hits a tough floater over Kobe.
My goodness, this game just keeps getting better. Vanier drives hard to the cup, and he gets clobbered by Ding. A hard foul down low. The Bulls refuse to let the Heat score easily.
He makes the first free throw, and he knocks down both. The lead is now pushed to 8 points. Here comes Rose, passing to the interior. Batier's defense is just too tough. Now, Kobe has the ball. Passes to Chalmers. Chalmers dishes it to Bosh. Batier catches the ball, defended closely by Dunn.
The ball goes back to Bosh with only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Chalmers catches the ball on the perimeter, launches a three-pointer, but misses.
Rose grabs the rebound.
Frankly, that ball needs to go to Kobe since he has the hot hand.
Rose pushes the pace, passes to Dunn, then to Boozer. On the perimeter, Rose shoots from beyond the three-point line, misses. Miami grabs the rebound. Batier handles the ball. Passes to Chalmers, who kicks it out to a wide-open Kobe. Three-pointer.
Bang! Kobe is truly clutch, and that shot ice cold freezes the game.
With Kobe's three-pointer sinking perfectly, the Bulls' defeat is no longer reversible. In the critical moments, Kobe delivered the toughest defense and the most incisive offense, perfectly embodying what it truly means to be a leader. A true leader never pads stats during regular time, nor does he dump the toughest defensive assignments on his teammates while sitting back and waiting to reap the rewards and steal others' victories. After this battle, the Heat confidence soared to the sky. In games 3 and 4, they maintained absolute dominance over the Bulls. It can be said that a healthy Heat team is an invincible force with absolute dominance in the East. They do not need everyone to be as explosive as Rose because their margin for error is so high that even when compared to the Western Conference champions, their roster still sends chills down opponents' spines. However, although the West lacks overwhelming talent, their fighting spirit should not be underestimated. As soon as Game 1 tipped off, Dirk Nowitzki led his team to withstand the relentless attacks from the Heat's superstars. Though he does not have bulging muscles, earth-shattering vertical leaps, or lightning-fast fast breaks, whenever it was time to step up, the German never backed down, proving just as selfless as Kobe, Wade, and Bosh. Under such unity, the Mavericks were completely unfazed. With just over 2 minutes left in the game, they trailed the Heat by only 2 points. Who can seize the first win first? Folks, if you want to know what happens next, you will have to listen to the next chapter.
Kid has the ball now.
Nowitzki on the perimeter, rises up against Haslam and splashes it. Nothing but net. Wade on the perimeter. What a beautiful bank shot.
His speed is incredible. He cuts into the paint in an instant. Terry on the wing. Passes to Kidd.
Nowitzki receives the ball, kicks it out to Marion, and Marion knocks it down smoothly.
What a clutch shot. And talk about a one-of-a-kind shooting form for Sean Marion.
Kobe has the ball, passes into the paint.
Wade throws down a ferocious one-handed dunk. Kobe and Wade are a perfect match. Their playing styles are so complementary.
I completely agree with you. That is the fundamental reason why this Heat team is unstoppable. However, the difference is only 2 points, and the suspense remains sky high. On the perimeter, Kid. 6 seconds left on the shot clock.
He releases a buzzer beater, but misses. The Heat grab the rebound. Pass it inside, but Kidd snatches it right back. Stolen by Kidd. Terry shakes off his defender, launches a three-pointer. No good. Heat possession now. If they can make just one more basket, this game might be all but over.
Their top priority right now is to control the rock and milk the remaining clock. Now Batier has the ball. Wade drives in again, and the floater goes in.
Honestly, Dallas' defense is in a nightmare spot right now. They simply do not dare to swarm Wade, especially with the lethal threat of Kobe waiting on the perimeter.
Nowitzki attacks the paint aggressively. Haslam rejects it at the rim. Nowitzki recovers the ball.
Attempts a floater, but he can't get it to drop. They intentionally foul. That is all they can do.
With Nowitzki failing to score on 2 consecutive possessions, the Mavericks completely lose any chance of a comeback, and Nowitzki ends up losing more than he gains. What was originally 8 for 15, a 53.3% shooting percentage, has now become 8 for 17, leaving him with only 47% from the field. He will inevitably be criticized after the game by those who only look at the numbers. Of course, not everyone fights for the stats. Take Kobe, for example, who only took 14 shots. He seems to be deliberately reducing his own shot attempts to help his good brother Wade secure his first Finals MVP trophy. In Game 2 of the Finals, he took only 10 shots, putting almost all of his energy into the defensive end, holding Vince Carter to just 2 for 11 from the field. Combined with Wade's containment of Kidd and Bosh's defense on Nowitzki, the Mavericks quickly fell into a massive 0-2 hole. Facing a team that is so selfless on offense and so supportive on defense, all the Mavericks can do is give their all. But given the huge disparity in talent, no amount of effort is enough. It is like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. After just 5 games, the Mavericks could only helplessly fall short in the finals, watching as the Heat completed their title defense, and as Wade lifted his first FMVP trophy. Although Wade's performance in the 3rd game was unsatisfactory, both Kobe and Bosh, in the true spirit of brothers, did everything possible to enable Wade's success. For a Heat team that could not be broken by injuries or divided in spirit, which team could possibly halt their championship streak? My friends, to hear the rest of the story, tune in next time.